Hello everybody and welcome to SnackTube. That's right, today is another pot noodle review, another step on the road to reviewing every single pot noodle. Although I feel like we'll probably never be finished because let's face it, they're just going to come up with some other flavour at some point, in which case we will find it, we will review it, because that's what we do here at SnackTube Enterprises. But for today, we've got one of the classic pot noodle flavours. I think this is probably one of the top two flavours of pot noodle, at least that sells well. It's not one of my personal favourites. But this is the beef and tomato, and you'll notice this one is a king pot noodle, a big king. And that's because when I bought this, the king pot noodles were on sale, so they're the same price as the normal pot noodles. So might as well get the king one, right? So beef and tomato is definitely one of the flavours of pot noodle that is an absolute classic. It's been around forever. When I was a kid growing up, we pretty much only ever bought two flavours of pot noodle, beef and tomato and chicken and mushroom. And I've already reviewed chicken and mushroom on the channel, and I'll be honest, I just love chicken and mushroom anyway, so that one I went into knowing how I felt about it. I feel like this one I've probably got a good idea of how I feel about it as well. It's not one of my favourites, but it's nice every now and then. But we'll analyse it this time. I don't normally analyse when I'm eating my pot noodles. I just stuff them in my stupid face. Plus, we're going to make ourselves a wee pot noodle sandwich. And I've never had a beef and tomato pot noodle sandwich before, so hopefully that will be delicious. So you got your pot noodle, and it comes with your little sachet of sauce. Of course, this is the same size of sachet of sauce that they give you with the normal size pot noodles. I feel like this should be bigger, or they should give you two in the king size, but that's a gripe that many people have, and pot noodle just absolutely refuse to address it. They don't want their costs going up by putting too much tomato sauce in these things. Right, so let's have a look at this pot noodle then. So it's beef and tomato flavour. Get charged up in 4 minutes. I should probably give this a little stir. I've already had it for a couple of minutes now, but I haven't stirred it yet, so let's give it a wee stir just to make sure that it's perfectly ready for us when it comes time to eat it. Put the wee liddy back on. So yeah, same as every pot noodle, you stick water in up to the fill line, and it takes 4 minutes for it to cook. You got to stir it halfway through as per the instructions. This one has got a little bit of writing. Let's read this. So, lead the charge, put beef behind everything. Dodge any tomatoes, the world throws at your kingdom. Well, I'm very good at dodging tomatoes. I hate tomatoes. Hate them. Well, raw ones anyway. I absolutely hate raw tomatoes on anything. But give me a tomato flavoured thing like a soup or pasta sauce or tomato ketchup, and boy howdy, I love it. But yeah, raw tomatoes are gross. So yeah, let's have a look at you've got your ingredients. It's all down there. I imagine it's most of the usual stuff you get in a pot noodle. But let's have a look at the nutritional information. This one will be a little bit different from a normal pot noodle because this is a king size one. It's 114 grams. So per pot, you've got 551 calories. Still not too bad. 22 grams of fat, of which 10 grams of saturated, so it's half your saturated fat for the day. That's pretty terrible. 73 grams of carbs, which is a lot, but to be expected. 5.4 grams of sugar, 5 grams of fibre, 13 grams of protein, which is 26% of your daily recommendation, which is not bad. 2.1 grams of salt, which is quite high. So quite high in all the stuff, but hey, who cares, right? It's just food, and it tastes good. There's your wee foil lid. And let's add our sachet of tomato sauce. I don't know how nice this actually is on its own. I don't know if I've ever really tried it on its own. But it's a bit more, it's a bit brighter than your Heinz ketchup. Let's try a wee bit of the sauce just on its own. Ooh, that's very vinegary. Very vinegary. And I like vinegar. I do love vinegar. So I quite like that. But very vinegary compared to other tomato sauces, which are more sweet, I would say. More tangy. But yeah, that's actually quite nice. Okay, just give that a wee mix in. Right, there it is in all its glory. Can't have it too much because the water will go everywhere. So this is it. The beef and tomato pot noodle. Absolute classic. Let's give it the old taste test then, shall we? Hot. I want to get a bite with a little bit of that tomato in there and the pea. There's tomato and there's peas. I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah, the red thing and the green thing. I think I'd rather the peas weren't in there. Luckily there's not a lot of them, but yeah, I'm not a fan of peas just in stuff. I like peas on the road with some butter, some salt and pepper, not bad, but in this pot noodle, I think it brings it down. It brings it down, to be honest. Okay, so it's nice. It's not bad. Wouldn't put it up there with my favourite flavours of pot noodle. These little dried bits of tomato that you get in there. See if I can fish one out. They're quite chewy, which I'm not a fan of. Bit too chewy. They're very, very sweet. They add quite a lot of sweetness to the pot noodle. I would definitely say, dropping noodles everywhere, I would definitely say this leans more on the tomato side than the beef side. And there's a savouriness to it. It is noodles at the end of the day, so there is a savouriness to it, but I wouldn't describe it as beefy. It's definitely more sweet than savoury. It's quite a bit of sweetness to it, which is probably why I'm not a huge fan of it. Don't get me wrong, I like sweet stuff, but I just don't think this works as well as some other sweety things like sweet and sour. Yeah, that works. Honey chicken, you know, that kind of stuff works. This sort of sweetness in the beef, in this context, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. It's okay. I like to say it's a pot noodle, it's edible, you got soup in there, you got loads of noodles. It's okay, but yeah, a bit too sweet for me. I'm not a huge fan of the flavour. It's slightly bland. It's mostly just tastes of sweet and tomato. And as you know, I'm not a massive fan of tomato. However, we've tried all these pot noodles in sandwiches before now, and you know, some have surprised us. Some have actually worked better as a sandwich. Some, when you put them into the sandwich, it just completely destroys the pot noodle. You can't really taste it. So let's find out if beef and tomato, well, putting it in a sandwich, elevate it to the next level. So I've got myself a wee roll, going different today. Got a wee roll, buttered on both sides. I'm going to fill this bad boy up with some pot noodle and see how it tastes. I do love a wee morning roll, I have to say. Morton rolls are the best. If you don't live in or around Glasgow, you maybe don't get proper fresh Morton rolls. But the crispy Morton rolls are the best rolls on the planet. Quite frankly, I've been to loads of places in the world and no bread compares to a Morton roll. I'm just putting that out there right now. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. Tell me which bread you think is superior, and I shall elegantly explain why you're wrong. Of course, this isn't a Morton's roll. Just to say, this isn't a Morton's roll. I got these from Tesco. Morton's roll, yeah, you generally have to go to a corner shop, but I haven't been out today, so we've got this. Right, pot noodles in the sandwich. Let's give this the old taste test and see how it turns out. Nope, it's spilling out already. Right. I see, this is why I don't do pot noodle sandwich very often. I only basically do it when I'm reviewing them for you guys. It's so messy. Everything just falls out. I need to get a bite right in the middle, I think, to be really sure. Yeah. That doesn't really help it at all. Oh, it takes a bit of the sweetness out of it. Of course, you got the butteriness of the butter. But yeah, it doesn't really help it. When you take the sweetness out of it, it ends up tasting a little bit too bland. So yeah, not great for a sandwich. I'm still gonna eat it. But it's not disgusting or anything. It's just a bit nothingy, a bit bland. So there you have it. That's the beef and tomato pot noodle. I think I've basically just reaffirmed in my mind why I'm not a huge fan of it. I haven't had one in a while, so I wanted to get one to review for you guys. And yeah, it's a bit boring. It's a little bit bland. It's got too much sweetness to it. Compared to the beef, I want it to be beefy. Like, I kind of want it to taste like an OXO cube, or just to taste like gravy. But it doesn't. It tastes too much of tomato, too much of that sweet tomato, and yeah, I'm not a big fan. Well, that'll do it for today. Thanks very much for watching the video. If you got all the way to the end, then you're a superstar. Thanks very much, and subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications anytime a new video comes out. Leave me a comment. What's your favourite pot noodle? I want to know, you know. And yeah, just go on the channel, watch some more videos. I've got a TikTok as well, which I upload to sometimes, so go check that out. And yeah, thank you, and I will catch you in the next video. I'll see you then.